All right, welcome everyone. Today is Wednesday, the 5th of November, 2025, and this is the SIG Cloud Provider office hours. We are a sub-project of Kubernetes SIGs, and as such, we follow their meeting guidelines, which can basically be summarized as please treat everyone as you would expect to be treated, or explicitly so, please be kind to each other. And if you have a question, please raise your hand and I will call it. So, I think before we get into the regular agenda, I'll toss it up to the group for sub-project updates. If anyone wants to give a sub-project update, feel free to raise your hand or unmute. All right. Seems like maybe no sub-project updates for today. So we'll get into the regular agenda. As I hope everyone here knows, but if you don't know, next week is KubeCon. The Maintainer Summit starts on Sunday, and then I think Monday is like the alternate events, and then Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday is the main KubeCon conference. So if you're going to be there on Sunday and you're coming to the Maintainer Summit, I know some of us will be there. Come say hi. On Wednesday, there's a SIG meet and greet that happens right around noon. It's usually overlaps with lunch and goes a little long. So if you're interested in meeting anyone from any of the SIGs, that's a great place to do it. There's often lots of good discussions happening there. And of course, grab some lunch and whatnot. And then Thursday, before the end of the show, we will have our maintainer track panel style discussion session. So please don't leave KubeCon early. Wait until the last minute and then come see our panel. I guarantee you'll have a good time.
Super fun, super awesome. I did start making a slide because I realized that it's a panel discussion and we're not going to have slides, except we do want a slide behind us with everyone's pictures. And I'm looking at you, Walter, and I'm looking at you, Joel, because I know Walter has a better picture because I took it at a recent KubeCon. So you probably both want pictures that maybe don't look quite as much like you're, you know, um, in a hostage situation.
I
Walter,
was about to say, wait, Bridget, you took a picture of me that
yes,
looks better than
but
that. Can I get?
yes. Yes, but why is it not on like KubeCon profile? So
Well, I tried to find it. I haven't been able to find it. I'm like,
I
where
can
can I
send
get
it
a
to you
copy?
again.
Yes,
Yeah, because
please.
both Joel and Walter, and maybe Joel, we take a better one of you at this conference.
There
I
is a
heard a room.
There
Yeah,
is a better
I think it was
photo
just.
of me.
Well, I was gonna
Then
say also there is apparently a headshot special
yes,
event going
yes,
on.
there
I
is.
I did that in one of the CubeCons recently, and they came out awfully. I
no,
maybe that was just me, but I did not like the photos that he took. I have a nice photo that I will send you.
yes,
I can also
please do.
recommend Bridget as a photographer.
Oh, we did get a good picture of Walter, so
I love
you'll
I
want to
love
make.
And
I
that
love
is
Walter's picture.
virtually impossible.
Oh, in any case, point being, we're going to have a slide that basically just says who we are, and then we're going to have a discussion. And if community members, with insights like Lucas or others, want to put some commentary on our panel plan, we're just going to have a slide that's something like that. But in terms of the panel plan, Elmico went in. Thank you, Elmico, and put some. If you want to go back to the doc, you put some commentary in there as to like which things you want to talk about. Because basically, we need to go through and decide what we're going to cover in the panel in broad strokes. So the assignment for your mission, should you choose to accept it, is if you're a panelist, definitely highlight which ones you want to talk about. And if you're not a panelist, highlight just in general with comments or whatever, which stuff you think we should talk about. And I'll toss it over to you, Elmico.
Yeah, I went over the document I think yesterday or maybe this morning, and yeah, like I think in general I think the topics that you've kind of laid out here I think are great starting points for our discussions and whatnot. I tried to add a little just kind of internal monologue just to say like what each one was kind of inspiring me to think about or whatnot. I didn't add anything for the last question because that one seemed like a really open-ended thing, and I didn't want to try and I didn't want to influence what was going on there, but I do like that one as well.
Yeah, I figure it's always good to end on somebody can kind of give their closing thoughts on where they think we're going. And Joel,
Totally.
you've unmuted, so I'm going to ask you what you think.
I really want to call out the testing effort on that because I feel like that is something that the SIG has been talking about for a long time that we are struggling to make progress on. And so if we're talking about like what's next and where can people help, testing feels like the right one, no?
I mean, I tend to agree. Like, and I think that's the runway that we've been like laying out for people to, to kind of get more involved in everything. So yeah, I mean, like, should we just maybe add testing as a separate topic of its own?
It's the natural thing, right? Like Kubernetes has gone over the top of the curve. We're reaching the stability points, right? We're in an area of the product that is under tested compared to other areas.
Right.
And so to reach that level of stability that people expect from this life cycle stage of Cube, we really should be focusing on that. And problem is most people aren't able to have the time to invest in it.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think this is like, I was just having a meeting this morning with some with some fellow Red Hatters, and we were talking about this. We were talking about, because we're trying to put together a proof of concept for what it might look like once we get to the point where we have the infrastructure community kind of like once we have the idea of like distributions, even if they're just cloud provider distributions in like kind of solidified in the infrastructure and testing community, then it'll be like, I want to be able to follow up really quickly with a POC to say, okay, now that we've got like this notion of distros and like, I want this distro, I want that distro, then it's like, here's how we put together tests. Here's how we can show like you pick the distro, boom, it all comes together and you're like testing something that's specific for that, cloud provider or whatever. So yeah, like I hope we can get there, but you're absolutely right. This is not a feature that's like driving users, towards Kubernetes or whatever. This is like building the future of resiliency and whatnot.
I mean, I will say, funny, I get into this argument occasionally. So sorry, you pressed the wrong button, Elmico. I agree it doesn't drive them towards, but I think that sometimes we pay so much attention to what drives them towards that we don't pay enough attention to what drives them away. And I would
That's a
say that
great point.
even if this doesn't drive them towards it, I think the lack of it does tend to drive them away.
Yeah, no, I think that's a great way to state it too. And for the record, like I'm totally with you on this one. I think like that even though testing is one of those things that's like it's not, like the feature that everyone's chasing, but at the same time, like, yeah, like you said, if it drives people away because they're not confident about the software, that's like another way to kind of couch it, I guess. I like that. All right.
Yes.
Any
I
other
put a
thoughts
couple
or
of notes
comments?
in there. Yeah,
Yeah,
but
cool.
if people have more, that would be great because we're going to be pulling this together. I imagine that we'll probably chat at Maintainer Summit just to kind of get this all locked in. But I think this is the kind of where my thinking is at. And yes, the better pictures would be great to have as well. And that's what I got there.
All right. Anybody else have questions or comments or things they'd like to say about KubeCon? Okay. We will move on to the next topic, Lucas with KEP 5237. So take it away.
Yeah, hey everyone. So the implementation is now basically ready, and we're also approaching code freeze next couple of days. So there's one final thing, which is if Cube features which are mentioned in the submodules, for example, in the controller manager package features.go, if they should also be part of the general Cube features.go file, which is in PKG features. So I think this is something where Antonio thought it's not, or it should not be part of this. I'm pretty certain it should be, if I interpret the doc strings correctly. So at least in the default version feature gates map, which is like a bit further below. And yeah, if it should be in there, then we also need someone from the features approvers list that can approve this pull request. So I think this is the most critical thing. As far as I know, none of us can or has the permissions to override this. And I think we need someone from this features approvers alias list who can
And
override this.
Lucas, I was looking at this list and thinking, ooh, Andrew Sycam is listed for cloud provider. Maybe this is one of the places that we didn't do updates that we needed to. Do you know about this list, Elmiko? I feel like there were so many different places that we updated when we got new
Yeah,
chairs.
so Lucas shared this with me as well. And I'm trying to remember. Yeah, I think thankfully I think you got it linked here too. Yeah, there's like this list here, not the feature approvers, but there was also another list where I think we have some old records because it still lists yeah, it still lists Andrew as like the primary approver for, some directories worth of stuff and he's listed as the cloud provider approver. So yeah, I think there is more owners aliases we need to figure out somehow. Lucas, do you remember where that other one was? Because you shared another PR with me where you were trying to get approval, and I was like, I couldn't add approval, and I think even like Walter couldn't add approval. It was limited to like Andrew and I think Dims or someone else.
I think this should be this PR, if I remember correctly. Because this one is editing the cube features, so I think they will
Okay,
need
maybe
these
that's
feature
what it was.
approvers.
Yeah. So yeah, and we do need to update this.
Yeah, so the question is, do we have someone which we can approach, or does anyone know someone which we can approach to get the approval? Or should we maybe file for an code freeze exception so that we can fix this alias files and then get the approval from one of the active members of SIG Cloud Provider? So because this would block the PR now from the code freeze if we don't have anyone who can approve this or override the permission.
I mean, I see Antonio and Tim on there. Certainly there are people we could talk to get it approved, even if they aren't the cloud
Justin.
provider people.
Justin, Joe. Yeah, there are a few people we can try, but we're also getting tight on time, right? We have till tomorrow.
Yeah, I think applying for an exception is probably a good idea.
Yeah, if you
We can
apply for
do
the
both.
exception, if you apply for the exception now and you just say, we're basically ready, we just have to sort out having the right people on this list, I don't think there'll be any problem getting that approved. If you take that action, Lucas, just go ahead and say, you'd like this. Wait, does it have to be Lucas or does it have to be?
I think
who
it
owns?
has to be a lead, if I remember correctly what I've read in the Kubernetes documentation. So a SIG Cloud Provider lead has to do, I think, but yeah.
All right, Elmiko, do you want to take this or do you want me to dig into it?
Yeah, I can work with Lucas to get to put up something for the exception. Lucas, if you share anything with me, I'm happy to make the email.
Yeah, sure. Let's do that. Yeah, otherwise for the CAP documentation looks good so far. It's also work in progress. I think we have a bit more time there, so that's not that urgent, but yeah, the PRs are also looking good.
So yeah, why don't you and I try to get an email together and hopefully I can send it out today because it sounds like we need to get it out quickly. And then we'll just have to follow up and see if we can find someone to approve the change to the features there. Yeah, Walter.
Sure, yeah. Should we do this? Oh, sorry, Walter, yeah.
No, that's okay. But I was going to say that list that is out of date, it's not just out. I was looking through it while you had it up, and it is not just out of date for us. There are quite a few people I see on that list who are no longer in the SIGs that they are listed on.
I mean, that would lead to the question, is this actually being used as some sort of sign-off mechanism? Because if it's completely wrong, then maybe that's not what people are referencing.
I'm not sure it's completely wrong, but I'm seeing at least 4 or 5 names on this list that I don't think are appropriate for the SIG that they are on. Yeah.
I feel like in one of the PRs that Lucas had up too, you could see that the Tide was referencing this, you know, it was like referencing this feature approvers list. It was like, we need someone from this list to be
Yes.
in it.
Seems like this
Yeah.
is a merge blocker for the bot.
I will also say I think we need to follow up on this for two reasons. One, Andrew's no longer on the SIG, so he's not the right person. But two, I only saw one cloud provider name on that list, and I am a great believer in the lottery problem. And you know, the only solution to the lottery problem is having multiple names.
Yeah. Yeah, this was where it was coming. I think this is where we were seeing it. Yeah. Yeah, so this changing anything there goes right to that feature approvers. So, all right. So, Lucas, you and I can work on getting an email out. Like, what do we want? I guess what do we want to do about updating the owners there for the feature for the feature stuff?
Yeah. I don't know if there's like a process to write someone else to say, hey, we have 2 SIG leads which approved this. Can someone with some higher privileges maybe just give us an approved?
Well, right. I think like probably we get the exception in place. We put up a PR to add like, you know, at least 2 people to this, you know, or to update the cloud provider. So there's at least 2 of us. And I'm guessing, is this supposed to be tech leads or chairs or what do they want here? Because like, you know, theoretically we could put myself, Joel and Walter, or we could put myself and Bridget here, or
I just other SIGs I know well and that look up to date. API Machinery has the TLs and not the chairs.
okay. So
So-
let's make
Yeah,
a
that seems
PR.
fine.
Let's make a PR to put myself and Joel and Walter on this list.
Yeah, I think there was also another alias file where you were missing, Elmiko, as far as I remember. I think on this PR you can't also do the approve. I think
Right.
there we also identified an issue with the
Or
owner's
was
file.
it? I think it was this one. Yeah, this one needs to be
Yeah.
updated as well. Okay. So we should put up some PRs to change those. Did you have another comment, Walter? Okay. All right. Does anyone, I guess I can put up a PR for this as well. I'll just put up a manual PR and see what people say about that. Okay. Any other questions, comments? Anything about yeah, Bridget.
I would recommend, and I don't have that one open at this second, but I would recommend going and looking at the GitHub history of the file because that should show you, are these being auto-generated? Are they coming from somewhere else? Like you should be able to tell if this is coming in from one-off PRs, you know, you can usually see how that file is coming.
Yeah, great suggestion. I'll do that like after my next meeting, I think. Or maybe during my next meeting, depending on if I'm hosting or not. Okay, anything else about that topic? And thank you, Lucas. Thanks again for like holding on through this process. I know this is kind of like you know, your first time going through all this and everything in this community, but yeah, you've been a trooper kind of holding on till the very end here.
Yeah, also thanks for your support. You've also been quite involved, so thank you for that.
All right, we'll move on to the next topic then. Theo, you've added one here about an enhancement, so why don't you take it away?
Hello. Yeah, sorry to add something so late. Basically, since 117, these labels have been depreciated. I think they were meant to be removed in 124, but they haven't, and the issue has gone stale and been closed. Someone brought this up to us asking a question about it a week or two ago. Should we reopen this and remove them? If so, I'm not really sure how to make docs updates or how we go about doing this. But I'll be happy to help or contribute some time to do it too.
They have been deprecated for a long time, so it seems like it should be fair game to remove them at this point. I know it's probably going to break some people somewhere. Someone's still using that, like, beta, whatever zone label or whatever. But I think, yeah, like, let's reopen this and assign it to you if you wanna follow up on it. Does anybody else have objections to that, or maybe alternate ideas?
I don't have objections, but I do know that we've had other things in SIG Network and other places where there, like, an email has gone out saying, we're going to deprecate, and then people kind of come out of the woodwork and say, don't. So I want to make sure we don't surprise anyone with a
Yeah,
deprecation, I guess is what I'm saying. Like, I don't know how we want to make sure that it's clear to people what we're going to change. But
yeah,
calling something deprecated and removing it are two different things, I guess is my
right.
point.
Like these docs have been this way, for a long time.
It's nearly 6 years at this point that that's said
Right,
deprecated though.
right. Like it is definitely time for, like, these to go away. I'm sure there are some people out there who haven't migrated off of them though.
But it's been, and I remember now the one I was thinking of, it's been years on Secret V1. And yet people were very upset when it was suddenly like, we're going to take this away. No, don't take away my cheese. Don't move my cheese. So, Walter?
I'm actually going to play devil's advocate for a second. I wonder if if we wait just a little bit, we can get this problem solved without having to without having to go through this. My thought process is mutating cell rules are coming, and I wonder if we could just solve this with a mutating cell rule, where we had a cell rule that says if you have the old form, write the new form. You have that out for one release, and then we end of life it, because then at least we're guaranteed that the new form exists on all records.
Yeah, Joel, please.
How do we guarantee that every cluster that exists runs that mutating emission policy?
No. Well, two things. One, not a mutating admission policy, right? I'm talking cell rule. So it should be more automatic than. I mean, I guess it's probably implemented as a built-in cell admission policy, but it's not like it's a webhook or anything, right? And then I would say if it's automatically done in the Cube API server because it's a mutating. So it's a great question, but I still think I have an answer for you. So the other thing that is coming is the other thing the API machinery team is working on is the auto upgrade. Not auto upgrade. I'm sorry. I'm trying to think of the name of the feature. Basically, where they run up the version upgrade, the storage version upgrade on every record, right? So if we've got the cell rule and we have a storage version upgrade, then that should guarantee that every record gets touched and that a new annotation gets set.
Do you have a link to anything that talks about these cell rules that I could read? Because if it's not mutating emission policy, it's something in API machinery I'm not aware of, and I would like to be aware of.
I can get it for you, Joel. I don't have one right here, but yeah, let me. So there are two different things. So there's the mutating cell stuff, which is being done, I think, by Lilit and by Joe Betts. And then I can go find the person who's currently working on this storage migrator. That one's an interesting one because that one was originally like from 5 years ago on API machinery by Chow.
Mm-hmm.
And it went dormant for a while, but there is someone now actively working on it.
Yeah, the only cell mutation thing I'm aware of is the mutating emission policy, which is like the YAML thing that you can then use to add in-tree mutation.
Right. That's what I'm saying. So we add an
Okay.
in-tree mutation in this in the types that basically says if you see this write this. I can confirm whether we can actually do that, but I think it'd be worth seeing if the cell rule is capable of doing that mutation.
Yeah, I think that still comes down to my question of, I think this, if there are the other projects going on is declarative validation. Declarative validation, I don't think they have got to the point where they've got mutation in that right now. I think that's just validation.
So trust me, I know DV very well. So you're right. This is not part of DV.
Okay, fine.
This would
In
be
which
part
case
of
it must,
cell.
it's 1 second in the chat. It's this thing, right?
Oh, excuse me. I have to go find the chat. Mutate. I mean, I'm assuming. Yeah, as long as we're not talking webhooks, I was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this
Oh,
is something
yeah.
that Joe
So it would
was.
be. Yeah, it would. So it would be the cell. It would be the cell version part of the mutating admission policy chain.
Okay. So yeah, the issue with this is that it's a piece of YAML that someone has to apply to a cluster, right? The storage version migration, that would help. I agree. It would force the rewrite of everything, but we still can't guarantee that everyone would deploy the VAP that the map that we recommend. So I think your idea helps, but it doesn't guarantee.
So can't we? Okay, maybe you're right. I thought we could add the cell rule to the type, the latest type, and then that would cause the rewrite.
Unless they've been doing something in DV that I'm not aware of and you're not aware of.
No. There's nothing. There is nothing in DV that's going to help us here.
Yeah, I don't think there's anything we can do writing on the types. We could go and build it directly into the node admission plugin, if we really wanted to.
Okay. All right.
Okay, we could do it.
I'm
I'm just
with
not sure
you.
about the mechanics.
Let me go follow up with Lilit, because Lilit is going to be the new owner for this, and I may be mistaken, but I've got a meeting with Lilit in an hour anyway. So
Sweet. Yeah, Slack me once you've worked that out. But I think
Yeah.
Okay, so that's a good discussion, and I think it probably should factor into, if Theo wants to kind of resurrect this, I think this looks like the cap that Andrew originally referenced about this stuff. I don't know if you have it in here or not, but yeah, anyways. I think that it looks like this cap probably needs to be updated, because this was supposed to be done by 1.21, right? So this needs to be revived, and probably we need to finish this out to carry it through from, it's like in alpha state right now, we need to carry it through to completion if we're going to do this. And that might involve what Walter and Joel are talking about here. And I think that's where, Theo, if you're going to reopen this, it's like, don't just propose removing them right away. Send the email to the mailing list to kind of get people's attention, and then maybe do some investigation around what Walter and Joel have been talking about here. Maybe even work with Walter and Joel to see do we need to rewrite parts of this cap to match what we're going to do now. Joel, you got your hand up. Yeah, please.
Yeah. So I just had a brainwave after going back and forth with Walter. We already have logic in the node controller that ensures that the new annotations exist, and that's been there for a long time. So I'd be surprised at this point if there are any nodes out there without the new annotation. So I've just linked that in the chat again. There is a to-do there to switch the primary and secondary, which we never followed up on. But the first step to this is to switch those, I think. Probably then have a release with those switched, so that if anyone updates the new label, the old one gets synced. And then we probably want to eventually update the node controller to start removing the old label.
Yeah, I got to say, I like this plan a lot more.
Yeah, I had this some moment of I'm sure we have a controller doing this. We do.
You are muted, Elmika.
Yes. Yeah. And so it sounds like we're in a good place for Theo to reopen this, send out an email to kind of let everyone know what's going on, do a little work to brush up the enhancement to give a, a more factual kind of reading of where we're at, and then dive into this node controller that will automatically just kind of do this for everyone. So they'll just disappear and people won't really have to do anything. Does that sound good to everyone? Okay. So Theo, I'm going to make a note here. Okay, so we're gonna reopen. And I'm going to assign to, here we go, that was easy. Okay, awesome. Theo, thank you for taking a look at that. I think this is very cool. And yeah, awesome. All right. So that's the end of our agenda. Let's go back. I know there's been some weird stuff going on in the bugs, like in flakes and whatnot recently. But well, let's check out the triageable issues to see if we've had any new ones come in. Okay, still hybrid cloud native support. Someday we'll
It's
do it.
2024. So yeah.
That's my favorite topic. Like I love those.
Oh my goodness.
Just because it's so complex, Okay, so we're looking okay on triageable issues for now. Let's look at the periodics to see how these ones are looking.
Now we were being pinged about something that we were on the hook for possibly that was release impacting. I think you were looking into it, Walter. Did we sort that out? Saying that the release team was asking us about, like some test failures. I think they might have been GCP test failures.
Sorry, I had to find the unmute button. Was that me? I thought that I can follow up, but I thought we handed that one to Lilith.
I'm not sure.
And I'm also not seeing any test failures. But there was some back then. I'm guessing that we handed it to Lilith, and Lilith actually followed up. But if I have to check with a Lilith on at least one thing for Joel, anyway. So.
Right. There was something changed in the test infrastructure, and it was like, it was something related specifically to how those nodes are being connected and everything. So yeah, I think actually this was like an AWS thing that
Oh, it's AWS. That's right. Oh, that's right. Kirtan was going to look into it. Did that get sorted out? I guess is my question. It looks like we aren't all right everywhere, but I'm not sure about for the release informing tests.
Well, it did get fixed, right? So like it's green now. So,
okay. Well, that's good.
I think I saw Kirtan here earlier. Kirtan, did you end up having to do anything for this one, Kirtan?
No. It got automatically fixed, but I was like, I have backlog, like trying to see like what could have happened before.
Yeah.
It's difficult with the network thing, but yeah.
I feel like something. Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
No, I said like I kept the logs for debugging, so I had to like see like what could happen at that time. Like.
Yeah, I feel like this was just a test infra kind of flub here or flake or something. Like somehow like the SSH file was wrong or something like that, or it picked the wrong binary or something. So yeah. Anyways, all right, cool. So not a problem anymore, it seems. All right. I think that brings us to the end of our meeting. Is there anything else people would like to say? I guess our next meeting will be the week after KubeCon, so no change to meeting schedule here unless people would like to take the week after off. But otherwise, hopefully see some of you at KubeCon next week. And
I was going to add, I will be at KubeCon, but I won't be at the following meeting because I'm taking a week off. So I'll be back the 2 weeks after.
Okay. Should we take the week after KubeCon off just to give everyone a little respite?
That might not be the worst idea in the world, since we will have all just seen each other and I'll just have the club provider update on that Thursday.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's say that then. Unless there's an objection to, you know, to that.
One quick question, and this is me being overloaded and bad, unlike everyone else who's overloaded and good. Did we have, or did I miss a practice session for the for our little talk at KubeCon?
Since we're running it as a panel, I'm not sure we're going to practice the panel per se, but I do have a document where the action item for you is go in and put your name or a comment under the subjects that you are the most interested in discussing.
Awesome. All right. More to-dos. Thank you.
Yeah. And if you don't do that, I will just call on you. But I will call on you for the things that you're the most interested in if you do that.
Sounds good.
Okay. So I think that brings us to the end of the meeting.
Oh yeah, and Walter, you have a better picture now on the slide for the panel. And I have emailed you a high-res version of that picture for you to go update it to Sketch. Take a look.
That is a much better picture. Thank you.
And Joel put a better one in too. So look at that. Real-time improvements.
Nice. I love it.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I guess look forward to seeing you all next week, or some of you all next week. And yeah, see the rest of you online.
All right. Thank you. Take care.
Later, everybody.